Hey, what's up? Hello, I'm Jillian. How are you? Today we're going to be talking about some more TikTok drama and watch how everything went down. On September 7th, 2024, a wedding takes place where the hired makeup artist, the Key Look LLC, overstays her welcome, films a bit too many TikToks, and is ultimately kicked out of the wedding. Keziah, the owner of the Key Look, then posts a 3-part series on TikTok depicting the entire day from start to finish from her point of view. Let's get right into the 3-part series and watch how it all went down.
Maybe around 3 or 4 o'clock. That's gonna be for everybody. So I have 3 other stylists that are coming.
So she reveals here that she finds out that her boyfriend was cheating on her. Remember this, she is in a very emotional state at the beginning of the day.
And they are gonna park valet. Okay. I'm about to work this wedding. Yeah, I'm tired. I don't want to be at work today.
Here she admits right away that she was crying while she was doing makeup, which is like super unprofessional.
But we gotta get this shman. Honey, some of me. Hi, what's on videos? Hey to the camera. Say hey to the camera. We all set up and ready to go. Hey ladies. Oh, y'all got y'all eye patches on? Okay. Yeah. Back a little bit more for me. All right, and then turn to the right one more time for me.
She says usually we come out to weddings and film content, as you can see from our feed. So this is like a normal thing for her and her team to do.
Okay, go ahead, turn towards me. Everybody, you know she a 10. Yay, so cute. You getting your hair done too?
Yeah.
All right, do me a favor. Yeah, you can take your hair down. That's fine. All right, look at me, smile. Turn all the way around. Just spin around. Do like a little spin.
She says the entire room was vibing off my energy. So she really thinks she's like the star of the show on this bride's wedding day.
Say hi.
Hello.
Say hey, Geneva.
Now here the bride mentions that the groom does not like TikToks, but he will participate in them.
We in here busting it out. Y'all don't even know. Yes, you smiling, you giving me model.
Let's get a model.
Yes, let's give me model. Show me your ring. Do a little spin for me? Just do a little twirl all the way around. Yes. Say, I'm getting married.
I'm getting married. This was like the only thing I was like, I can wear a bathrobe.
Now here's where I think that Keziah misunderstood some things, because the bride, Kiana, said that she was going to hire a content creator for her wedding day, but she didn't end up doing that. So I think Keziah just ended up kind of stepping up and taking over that position without being asked to. And I think that's where a large part of the misunderstanding takes place.
Wake up eventually.
Yeah. It's like, don't get it, right? Yeah, it's not. It wasn't a late. I mean, it was one.
We all got into bed at 6.
Yes, Rachel. You make it look so good. I really can't take it. Okay, go ahead. Yes. Look down for me. Let me see your eyes. Gorgeous. Look at me. Say hey to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
To my shoes and my socks. You say you hold the what? Like
Holding in my stomach like I can't look fat.
and she got a baby in there. Get in her stomach. So I don't want to look fat. Trying to
She says, I had everyone laughing all morning.
hold you. You over there trying to hold your stomach in? Yes. Oh, you was outside. She's 21.
Oh, we're gonna play this game.
They kept calling me their hype man.
Oh damn, Mama in the house. We about to get this face and this hair right. Yes.
Now she says I was doing full makeup and full on content with like kind of a stressed emoji. But like, girl, you were not hired to do any content whatsoever. You were hired as the makeup artist.
I'm not getting insurance. I'm not getting insurance. Please.
It is amazing. Gorgeous. Turn all the way around for me.
We were calling each other cousins and she was saying she was going to invite me to her wedding.
Let me see your hair. Gorgeous. For me. Gorgeous. All right, go ahead.
They weren't picking them up till 2:15.
Gorgeous. And then turn your head to the right.
But it's fun. Like today, I'm just like tired.
Gorgeous. I do. I'm right over here.
Just give me a stroke.
Fill me up.
You guys are bringing me everything.
Go ahead and turn around. Gorgeous. Maybe what you can do is possibly like leave early. Jordan, leave earlier.
She says still stopping to film content in the middle of my bride. So she's admitting straight up that they were filming a lot of content while getting ready.
And you'll just go over to the video and she'll be fine. Yeah, no, we ain't doing that. But I don't want to risk it. Okay, we gonna have this right at the venue. We'll get you right.
What are you really off for me? And I like that for now. Hopefully.
But you know why it's good to get married on rainy days, though, right?
Everybody said it's good luck, and I was like, do
You want to know why it's good?
Why?
So you tie in a knot today,
Yeah.
and whenever you tie a knot, and it gets wet, you can't break the knot.
Aw.
Like you can't untie it.
Oh, well, that's nice.
So that's why it's super like lucky to get
I didn't
married.
know that was like why.
Here's where I think that the bride looks really uncomfortable with like the angle that she's being filmed at. Like she keeps adjusting her robe, like pulling it down, like raise the camera up a little bit, like Jesus.
I thought it was just like something you tell sad brides.
No. Everybody always say that, and I'm always like, do you know why? And they're like, no. I'm like, let me tell you why.
She was in dreamland.
Sleeping.
She was out dancing last night. And this is
Yeah, I know. When she walked in here, I walked in here this morning. She was like, "With the night I had," I was like, "Oh, y'all had a time."
I was like, go out there. I was like, hey, how are you? Yeah, I was like, there are people here.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah,
no.
leave her alone. Meanwhile, I'm in here rearranging furniture. Oh, let's do a toast.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Honey, how are you? Welcome. Thanks. How's it going? Good. Oh, how are you? Good. I'm good. I'm like,
Hoping it doesn't get any more humid or else
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be like a disgusting rat today.
we have fans. Perfect. Fans to go.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's your name?
Melissa.
Hi, Melissa.
Nice-
Photography.
Yes. Hi, nice to meet you. How are you?
Why not y'all on Instagram or no? I don't think so. Did y'all get my email?
Maybe. I mean, I have all the vendors in a list somewhere.
Well, Shannon was sending it to them. That's not me.
No, I said it to them personally.
Oh, okay.
Because Shannon gave me that list.
Oh, yes, I did get your.
She says just in case we need to make any adjustments with timing, which you will see becomes a kind of a reoccurring theme.
Yes, I did.
So I'm Keziah.
Sorry.
Lovely to meet you.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
I sure won't.
I gotta make sure I have y'all Instagrams because we're doing this cool TikTok thing with my fiance.
Ooh.
We're trying to go viral.
And then you can hear her in the background say we're trying to go viral. Like you can tell that was kind of top priority for her for this day.
We're trying to go viral.
I believe in you. I feel like you could do it.
I'm tagging all of y'all. I'm inviting y'all as collaborators. For
Perfect. I'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
Judy.
And she says, I told everyone I would tag them and I did invite them to collab in the post, but only the flower company accepted it. And then the shade. I think you will see why that happened later on in this video.
The last order. Okay, thank you.
Every time I get you home from myself in the mirror, so I'm like, oh my god. I go, oh my god.
What is that?
No, if you just give me that fine.
No.
See? I get you ever see those videos when like the brides are talking and just like vibing?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Well, it's gonna be your voice over like, get ready with me.
Oh no, we're not getting rid of it. I just keep the sound. I don't really like doing voiceovers. I don't know. I just feel like it's better when people.
Thank you.
Mama, where? She came in here. I was like, Mom. Mom. I'm like, Mom. I guess like my age. Wait, Mom, where?
Mom, where? Well, that's why she said she's sister of the bride.
I'm Mama. I'm Mama. You like when they say that? Like,
What, sisters?
That looks like they could be sisters.
Oh, of course.
My mother eats that up. Eat it up.
Of course.
Now we're moving on to part 2.
Sorry.
You do touch-ups on everybody to Geneva?
She said, I was on my team's ass making sure we finish everyone on time and give everyone a touch-up, but you'll see later on that they were way behind time.
Do you, Judy, do touch-ups on everybody? I'm not sure. You ask them? Are you doing it now? Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay.
So everyone's supposed to be finished by 2 and the bridal party out the door by 2:30, and it's 1:56 right now, and the bride is still getting her makeup done.
You're gonna start a show. None's going off without you.
Here.
Thanks for
Nothing.
Now here the bride seems very worried about the time, and I have never been a bride and I'm very, very single, but I don't think that it's good to be making the bride worried on her wedding day because you want to film a bunch of TikToks.
No.
Me too, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a predator.
Everybody's on
We
your
are
side.
like
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Where she go, I go, she go.
A package deal.
I just know that Joey has already made it clear. He's like, I know Lila was getting there on time. I don't know Joey Lemon was getting there on time. And I was like, we can get in the car on time. Leave me alone. So we're gonna get that lady's gonna be like, that's a crazy.
Yes, kid. Look at you. We got the same name. Hey, let me see your ring. Let me see your ring. Woo! You look so good. Oh my God, Kiana, you look so good.
She says a moment for the makeup though because I outdid myself, so she's really hyping herself up here.
Take a look.
Oh, my love.
Now here's where I want to point out that everybody and their mother says that Keziah and her team do fantastic makeup and hair work. Like, she's great at the beauty portion of her job. Like, everybody loved their looks on the day of. She's a very talented makeup artist. She's just kind of lacking in the professionalism.
We got singers over there. I love this.
Yeah.
No, this is fantastic.
How you feeling?
I feel great. I feel bridal.
Oh, period. It's giving bride.
It's giving bride.
It's giving bride. Yes, you look so pretty. Yeah, I just finished. I need to hurry up and pack up because
You'll notice it's 2:30 and they just finished everyone's makeup.
I'm going to the venue to stay on location. And it's giving, so I've been recording and vlogging this whole wedding, so it's up in this stock. Wait till y'all see it.
She says my weekend had went from a mess to the best. So at this point she's really vibing with the whole bridal party and she feels very included.
What are you getting married?
All right, we'll see you later, Joe. Let me give you.
Thank you so much.
I was trying to give you a nice picture there, you know.
Oh, sorry.
I figured some of you.
Sorry. You in the sun out.
And now they're just doing her hair because of the rain.
Yo, you and his tongue out. I like have you with your tongue out at the
I literally don't even.
Yo, we've been having
I
fun
really
all
just feel
day.
like that evolved from the fake.
All right, turn around towards me, Key.
Oh God! That's where I was looking.
All right, turn around again for me. Yes, turn your head to the left. Okay, now turn it to the right. Now turn around at me again.
She says, tried to get an entrance of the flowers. So people are like actively trying to set up the wedding and she's like getting in everyone's way trying to film content.
This one came out.
Uh-oh, wait, hold on. Hold up, I got you.
Sorry, I just didn't want it to be in the way.
Yeah, that's fine. It's like on it.
Thank you.
I think like the most difficult dress to get into.
Is all secure in?
I don't think so here, but it's like where you're supposed to be. Yeah, grab the chair. I was thinking that you might need it. Do you need to move that stuff?
Can we, is this, I don't wanna.
I don't really know why this part was necessary. It's just like laughing at how short this guy was.
Can we move it real quick? I just wanna grab the chair real quick and steal it, because I'm too short.
Okay.
You know what? I said that when you watch that. Oh, yeah, short king. That's what it is.
Fix the boobies. Fix the abs.
So currently they're about an hour over time because of all the content they've been filming.
I gotta get you, Mom. You don't look so tired.
No.
Mom, where? Look at the sister of that bra.
And the longer you take, the better.
Yes. Oh, do that little turn around one more time, Melissa. Yeah.
She says, whenever I wanted to pull the bride or bridal party for content, I always asked the vendors first if it was okay because I didn't want to be in anyone's way. Okay, but you weren't hired to do content at all, so it's not your job to be doing this in the first place. You shouldn't be pulling them away from the photographers at all during their time to be doing photography.
I did my makeup in the car on the way here, by the way.
Wow. Whose wedding day is it?
Who's getting married? Put you in a video. Yeah, while you're doing that, and then hit the camera.
She says, I've had my fair share of times being yelled at about me wanting to get content when I first started in the industry. So she's been worse before this.
Right there, look like you could drop the camera and then turn back. Yeah.
Yeah, alright, I'm scared right now.
Don't be like. All right, go ahead. Hit me with the turnaround. There we go.
You look
Camera.
Don't cry.
Yeah, better not.
Don't cry, you'll be fine. We're ready for you, Kiana.
She says, making sure my bride's first look photos weren't ruined by strangers. We'll find out who those strangers were later on in this video. Oh, and by the way, she's standing in the background of these first look photos with the bridesmaids. So who's the real stranger here?
I know, we're gonna turn around and see her for the first time. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. This is where it sucks to be short. Hi. We gotta close that door. Oh, sorry. I hear Kiana.
Be the girl. No, we're doing the first look. Okay, we're doing the first look. Yes, we're doing the first look. Don't try me.
Thank you, security.
Top right.
Thank you for makeup and security.
Top right.
She says, we were still joking and laughing. I swear it felt like it would never stop. Now here's where I feel kind of bad, but also like not really because of where it ends up later on. She just got like so attached to these people that she didn't know, and she didn't keep up the appropriate boundaries. And she just started to feel way too comfortable with these people that she didn't know and that she isn't friends with, and it just like majorly backfired on her in the end.
We already saw.
Okay, that's enough. Rachel, you just broke down. Come here, girl. You did so.
I think it's a little weird for a stranger to be giving you a hug at this point.
Oh my God. God help me.
You look fantastic.
She says everyone is really having a good time with it, and then the groom looking like really uncomfortable.
You, Kiana. And look to me.
So GQ.
You took some pointers from Will.
I'm really sure that the photographer and the videographer appreciated her assistance in these moments.
We'll got a picture. And chin down a turn.
That wasn't even planned. You just happened to bring some.
Exactly.
I was like,
Give me
oh.
GQ. Give me GQ.
And he's wearing what?
He's wearing.
Wow, look at you.
Uh-oh. It's a TikTok bad phone.
Hey, Mom.
You've been banned from TikTok.
Yeah, I'm still working.
She has to hold the phone a little.
So here she misplaces the groom's lighter, and he seems pretty grumpy about it.
I saw your collection. Oh, it's pretty neat. I know.
Melissa, you all in a...
And here she is standing in the middle of the aisle right before the ceremony, filming content on her phone when she was not hired to do so.
We gotta go.
Okay, now we're on to part 3.
It's not just about enduring, but contentment. Choosing to love each other in the silence of everything.
So we start off the third video with her in the middle of the aisle, in like the middle of the ceremony, shooting content on her phone.
Hey, Melissa.
So this is the very first moment of the day that she's been brought into the knowing that she has not been everybody's best friend the whole day during the cocktail hour after the ceremony.
Please don't get in my video.
Yeah, she's especially.
So that was all the footage that I got to get from the wedding, but I'll continue to tell you guys the story. I hadn't realized that I've been ignoring my pain the entire day. So I really hadn't realized what I was going through. And I've been having such a good time with these people, and I felt so much love that I couldn't even believe that this groom was talking to me that way, especially when I hadn't done anything to him. I hadn't done anything to anybody that day. The only thing I did was show up, do my best, and be my best. I just wanted to make sure that this bridal party really enjoyed. I just wanted to do everything that I could to make sure that the day was perfect for them. But obviously, I was doing something to get on somebody's nerves. As I am bursting out in tears, the bride is consoling me, and she's like, no, like, I don't want you to leave. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm really in tears because I just can't believe that all this stuff is happening to me this weekend. Most of other personal problems that I got going on in my life.
So the bride is consoling her on like what is supposed to be one of the most special days of her life. The bride is consoling her makeup artist.
Like, I'm in this crazy space. I was just so emotional. I couldn't do nothing but break down. I just felt so weak. I felt so made a fool out of. I felt so vulnerable, like I was being kicked while I was already down. And I just felt like I had given this bridal party everything that I had. I didn't have much to give, but I gave it. I gave it all I got. I gave it all my energy. Y'all can see, I literally went above and beyond. I was on my feet for over 12 hours. I was giving it everything I had. I just want everything to be special for them. I knew I wasn't in the best space, but I'm like, these people are literally having one of the biggest days of their life. Like, I just want to make sure that this shit goes well, and I just want it to just be good vibes and good energy. So I decide I'm going to leave. I told the bride, I said, I'm just going to go ahead and leave. I don't want to be ruining anybody's day. My heart broke in that moment. I've never had that happen to me. You know, I thought about it and I was like, you know what, my bride, I went out to my car. I think I went to the store to just get something. And I was like, you know what? My bride doesn't want me to leave. I was like, I might as well just stay. So I went back and I drove into the botanical garden. I parked right back in the same spot that I was parked at. Before I walked in there, I was like, you know what? Like, go back, get what you need. You are stronger than that. Don't let nobody break you down. So I went back in there, and I went back in there with my head held. When I got back in there, I went straight into the cocktail hour. I had my head held high. I'm not gonna let nobody break me down. I'm good. Like, maybe he just had a moment. Maybe he just needed to cool off. I did nothing to him. I sit down and, you know, I see the bride and we're talking and she's like, you're good. Like, you're fine. Her mom telling me, you know, stay. Like, we really love you being here. We love your energy. The mom, me and her, we still just vibing. It's still just like a vibe. I mean, I dusted off. I was like, you know what? Let me let that go. Then I go back out of the cocktail hour and I go and sit down with a couple groomsmen. So I'm sitting with the groomsmen, I'm chilling. They like, yo, you look tired.
I think maybe they were trying to tell her something there. Like, yeah, you look really tired. Like, maybe you should go home.
I'm like, yo, I've been on my feet since like 7 o'clock this morning. I left out at like 6 o'clock in the morning to just get here. So I've been on my feet all day. Like, I ain't really had no breaks. I had a bagel and then I just ate some food from this cocktail hour. After that, one of the assistant planners came up to me and she goes, can I talk to you to the side? And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't even feel like getting up here. I'm just ready to get the last couple shots of these videos and this content that I need for this wedding, and I'm ready to go. So I told her, I was like, you know, if you got something to say, you could just say it right here. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not even that deep at this point. So she goes, oh, like, the couple does not want you here anymore, so you're going to have to leave. I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm trying to process what's happening. The couple wants me to leave. Like, what did I do? Like, I'm just so confused. On top of that, this is just like super embarrassing. Whether I would have went to the side with her or not, this is something that I know was being talked about. So it's already just embarrassing. Said it didn't matter.
She says it's really embarrassing. I think Like, yeah, that's maybe why she wanted to talk to you privately. There was a comment on this video that said, planner tries to pull her to side. Girl, say it right here. Planner, you need to leave. Girl, this is so embarrassing.
This is my reputation. This is my company. I'm self-made. I built this on my own. And this is just like crazy. And I didn't do anything to anybody. I'm so confused. So I end up getting up and I'll start walking by. And again, I'm about to burst out in tears because I'm just like, nah, like there's no way that all of this stuff is happening. There's just no way. So I pulled the bride and I was like, oh, can you come here? And she was like, oh, you about to leave? I see you or whatever. So I was like, nah, like, come here. So I understand that you and your husband want me to leave. I was like, I didn't do anything to anybody. I don't even know what's happening. Like, I'm so confused. Now I'm sitting there about to start crying again because I'm just really confused. So I was like, you know what? Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your wedding day or whatever the case may be. I'm going to go ahead and go. Mind you, I see security literally watching me. So y'all were about to get a security guard to remove me from out the wedding as if I need to be forced out, like as if I'm begging to be here. Like, for real? When I tell y'all, it was so embarrassing and so crazy because I literally did nothing to nobody at this wedding. I do appreciate to the bride for being apologetic about what happened. That was crazy and it was unacceptable. It was disrespectful.
No, you were disrespectful. You were disrespectful with the bridal party's time all day. You were disrespectful with the photographer and the videographer's time. You were disrespectful to the couple by standing in the middle of the aisle during the ceremony. All in the name of shooting your content for your little fiance anthem video so that you could go viral. And you did, but at what cost?
I maybe think I was the only Black vendor. I don't know. I'm the only Black vendor that I saw. And I was treated that way. That was fucked up. That was mad fucked up what y'all did to me. I only gave y'all good energy that day. And that was so fucked up. I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it on this note. When your light shine as bright as mine do, my light shines so bright. People can't take it. They can't take me in this industry. They can't take it. My light shines so bright. This company is 5-star rated across the board. I have never in my life been removed from anywhere. Always been professional, and anybody that worked with me could tell you. I've always been professional. I've always been organized, and I must stay on my shit.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I will never let nobody, I don't care who it is, I'm never going to let nobody bring me down. I'm never going to let nobody make me want to quit what I do. I'm going to keep doing what I do for Black women, and I'm going to keep going up in this wedding industry. And if you can't stand that my light shines so bright, fuck you.
And she ends the series with a big old fuck you. A great comment on one of these videos was, that's so crazy because if I read a makeup artist agreement about filming, I would think they would be filming their work, aka my makeup, not my event. She also posted a video of her crying in the car on the way home from this wedding.
I was kicked out of a wedding tonight. I've never in my life have been kicked out of a wedding for doing absolutely nothing. I've never been kicked out of anywhere. And I'm so hurt. Like, I feel like in this industry, there's no space for me. And I love this industry so much. And I love working with brides, and I love doing fun stuff. I love being able to bring out content. But I don't know, like, I don't know if God is telling me, like, that this is not the place for me. I barely even work weddings anymore. If I come out to your wedding, it's so rare for me nowadays. When I come and I work a wedding, I try to give my all. And I stayed at this wedding. I'm so fucking hurt.
This 3-part series went absolutely viral on TikTok, and people had a lot of opinions about it and made a lot of funny responses about it. This series actually ended up on the For You pages of Bridesmaids and Guests of the Wedding, and they had stuff to say about it. The bride is actually my sister. Shame on you for even posting this. If you need to cope, don't use someone else's wedding to do so. Happy you got the content you wanted at your behest. Girl, as the other black girl in the bridal party, I had to create a TikTok to tell you that this is wrong and full of lies. Your work is great. Your lack of professionalism is not demure, not mindful. Hi, so I was a bridesmaid in this wedding. We all loved our makeup and had so much fun getting ready. These TikToks are a huge violation of our privacy and the privacy of the bride. So again, this is insane. To have this content up, plus your disrespectful story about my best friend's wedding, and to be deleting our comments is wild. Now, these comments were all made on either the 3-part series or the subsequent apology videos made, but they were all deleted by Keziah. And then after all this, a few of the bridesmaids got on a TikTok live to speak on some of the burning questions that the TikTok public had.
No, Rachel, speak your piece. You have the floor.
This is so crazy. Basically, I mean, she did great work. I have to say that. Like, she really did great makeup. Also, I'm not going to take away from the actual bride. I know she's probably going to want to say her stuff. But yeah, like, I mean, she wasn't contracted to be a content creator, and we were fully aware that she was making content for makeup, and that was fine.
So everyone thought that they were signing her contract to film wedding makeup content, not like content for the whole goddamn wedding day.
It just kind of it was just when she started making content that was taking away from, you know, the hired photographer and videographers content is when we started to kind of have a problem with it. Also, again, I don't know if anyone has been a maid of honor or a bridesmaid, but you are pulled in a million different directions, and you are just trying to make sure that the bride has a good day. And that day did not involve us getting physical or aggressive with the makeup artist. So that's kind of how that happened. That's why we didn't step in sooner, just because, again, like, we're not trying to start a physical altercation. And again, multiple people said something. The groom's mother said something. You could tell, like, again, we just thought that an adult could read the room, and that's not what happened. Because many, like, the photographer made some comments, the videographer, the wedding planner, like, there was all comments that were made that we kind of needed to stay to our timeline and kind of get things done, and it was just not getting across. So again, when she left and came back the second time, it was just, okay, we need to get security in here.
So if everyone had been making comments like presumably the whole day, it shouldn't have come really as a surprise to her when they asked her to leave during the cocktail hour.
I'm saying the lack of self-awareness, yeah.
Because that's the consensus of this thing, is that we need self-awareness. So from the initial part, she got there at 7 a.m., said that her boyfriend cheated on her like the day before.
Oh, we didn't know that, by the way.
That you guys didn't know.
At least personally, I didn't know.
Because as like a professional, exactly, which is fine. You're not supposed to know. That it has no bearing on the wedding day itself. That's number one. Okay, so number two, we saw you guys did the first look. What was that like? Because from our perspective, it looked kind of awkward.
Do you mean the bridesmaids' first look or the bride and groom?
The bridesmaids' first look.
Yeah, I mean, it was, granted, like, at the time, at first, we were just like, all right, she's here, whatever. The strangers that she said that she was keeping out of the room were actually Kiana, the bride's family. So those were not strangers. Granted, they had their own first look with Kiana, but again, like, it was just funny that she was saying she was keeping the strangers out, but she was in fact a stranger.
Remember from earlier when she was being security during the first look with the bridesmaids and she was keeping the strangers out of the room?
It was kind of awkward, I guess, like, having a phone in our face during that time, just because it was, like, supposed to be very special and, like, an intimate experience with us. And I mean, this has been said in a few comments too by, like, us, by me and the other bridesmaids. Like, you can see her in the pictures in the background of that first look. And we haven't seen all of the photos yet from the entire wedding, but I'm assuming that you're going to be able to see her in a few photos.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And then another question that we had, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, they're saying that it was an unplugged ceremony. Is that correct?
It was, yes. The officiant, she was also the groom's sister and another bridesmaid, made a comment like, you were able to take like one picture with your phone right when the bride got to the altar and then put your phone away.
Also, this is one thing that hasn't come up yet. It didn't come up in the 3-part series. It was supposed to be an unplugged ceremony, so nobody was supposed to have their phones out. Like, the whole point of an unplugged ceremony is to, like, live in the moment and for, like, the bride and groom to be able to publish their own photos and videos first. But she had her phone out the whole time filming, like, the whole ceremony, and she just put it online right away. And remember, from, like, the middle of the aisle.
But yes, she was in the aisle still filming with an unplugged ceremony. And that's kind of also what we... Yeah, and that's... Again, we don't have... Kiana and her husband are now on their honeymoon. They're not... So to see this, and they haven't even seen their professional videos of the wedding yet, to see this is almost the most disrespectful part. Like, they haven't seen their content, and then now someone's putting it, like, on the entire internet of basically the entire wedding. The only thing she missed was the dancing and the dinner. That was also more of like that was like a boundary.
I completely agree. I was telling the people on here, I've been a bridesmaid. It'll be my 4th time. I'll be a bride next year. And you already spend so much time, so much money planning for this, like, one day. Even though it's like, what, 5 to 7, 8 hours, you want to make sure that day is, like, the best possible. And I cannot imagine, because I looked at their photographers and videographer, their content, beautiful work. Somebody has an iPhone that's shoved in your face trying to do content, so to speak. And then you already have these people who you paid professionally to do this work. It's heartbreaking. I can only imagine, how the bride feels. It's very, very unfortunate, this, like, entire situation. And for her to even extend the time, being at dinner, being at cocktail hour, she said that she left, she came back, hung out with the groomsmen, all of these things. So internally, you don't have to share too much. I really want to, respect the bride's privacy. How do you guys as, like, bridesmaids feel?
I mean, again, I said in the comments earlier, like, our friend is truly, like, the sweetest person alive. And we could tell she was kind of, like, uncomfortable, but, as a bride, you're probably anxious the whole day. And she wasn't outwardly saying at first, like, we need to get her out of here. And if that was the case, we would have done it.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think, all of the bridesmaids without the bride were having conversations like, oh, like, she's kind of a lot, like, but she's getting her videos, she's doing whatever. But it was like an internal conversation between all of us that we did realize and understand she was kind of like overstepping a bit. And again, like, she wasn't contracted to be a content creator, and the bride and groom are both not social media people. So for them, and this was something that was said in the videos too, like, there's the groom said something because obviously Kiana is a nice person and didn't want to have that confrontation, but he's gonna stand up for his bride and he's gonna say something. And he kind of said, I think, what we were feeling.
Now, it seems like the groom kind of spoke for the both of them and kind of everyone, because I think the bride probably didn't want to ruffle any feathers. Maybe she's like a people pleaser like I am.
Okay, the commenters have one question that I recently found this out. So she lost the bride, the groom's lighter. And apparently she was smoking during the wedding. Did you guys see that?
I didn't know. She kind of went wherever the bride and groom went. So they were taking a lot of, like, individual portraits and individual pictures. And maybe that happened when they were by themselves, but I personally didn't. I don't know if any of the other people in the chat did.
Okay. This is very helpful because the entire internet is ablaze by this random situation. I think she probably came on like, oh, we're going to take her side, but from start to finish, she didn't make a lick of sense.
This was crazy to see, like, all of my friends sending me content about this thing and seeing our face just randomly pop up on their For You pages. But it's definitely interesting. And I know a lot of people are saying that they want us to make a video. Obviously, we don't want to do that without the bride in it.
her day.
But she does want to, so maybe at some point we are seeing the bride this weekend, so maybe we'll make one.
And one question to clarify, the MUA that made the video, did she do all of you guys' makeup and hair? Like only some people? I don't know if she actually, like, what did she
did
do?
half,
Like,
right? So she brought a team. There were 2 hairstylists and 2 makeup artists that were all part of her team. So there were 4 total. But she was her and the hairstylist who did the bride's hair. They were the only 2 who came to the venue to do touch-ups as they were contracted for until about 5 p.m. And the makeup artist was the one who stayed almost until like 8 or 9 p.m.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. They want to know, did the bride ask the MUA to stay, or she was just contracted till 5, and the bride was like, oh, girl, if you want to hang out, hang out.
It was kind of like she was contracted until 5, and the MUA was like, I'm having so much fun, like I don't want to leave. And my friend was like, I mean, again, you don't think that when you ask someone to stay for a ceremony that they're going to insert themselves into being a vendor. It was more like, if you would like to stay and be a guest, again, not at the reception, at the ceremony, if you want to like see your work go down the aisle. And then again, like we've said this multiple times too, like it kind of just got out of control very fast once the invite was extended to the overstepping. But yeah, it wasn't like you can stay and create content. It was like, if you would just like to sit and be a guest for the ceremony, like you're more than welcome.
Absolutely, which makes a complete amount of sense because you want to take X, Y, and Z photos, put on your Instagram. Hey, I did this bride. Makes sense. But 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you're with the cleanup crew. That's a little bit questionable. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. They also want to know, I don't know if you would be able to answer this, because she mentioned that she ended up crying to the bride. Did that actually happen? I presume that it did, but I don't know if you'd be able to answer that.
That did. That was, so she did cry to the bride, and the bride was like, like, he doesn't like the TikToks, he told you. And that was, she cried when the groom yelled at her. And then that was when she originally said, okay, I'm just going to leave. And my friend was like, totally fine. If you don't like, whatever, you did your contracted time. And then, so we were on the same page that she was leaving at that moment. And then after she was finished crying, then that's when she came back. So she left the venue because she was upset. And then she ended up coming back.
So again, she had the bride comforting her because she was overstepping boundaries.
Okay. I was mentioning to commenters, to be able to do all of that cry, somebody yell at you and still be able to come back is very concerning. That is, you really don't know how to read the room. You have to know when you're invited and disinvited. Hey, maybe this is the time that I should be staying here.
Yeah. And once she came back was kind of when, honestly, I didn't even see her come back, because once she was seen, the wedding planner kind of squashed it. And that's when security came, to really get her out.
I see. Everybody also wants to know, where is the wedding planner coordinator on this? Because I have my own wedding planner coordinator. I feel like for me, should be very, hey girl, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Does she have any thoughts?
Yeah, so she was the one who was trying to gently do that the entire time. And it was just not clicking. And again, no one wants to be physical or start a verbal altercation at a wedding, because it's still a wedding. But it was kind of, at first it was like, okay, like we have to stay on schedule. And then it was like, okay, if you don't get it this time, we have to move on. And we were kind of, the wedding coordinator was obviously just trying to like do what she could without starting any major problems. And then obviously she stepped in at the end and really got her out.
Okay. That makes, oh my goodness, people are saying she needs to get beat up. I don't think she needs to get beat up. I think that she unfortunately ruined her business. That's unfortunate, because her business model does make sense, but I'm not somebody who would hire her after this, especially for an unplugged ceremony. And you're not supposed to be using any videos or photos, and then also you wanted to create content, but the bride hasn't even posted that content that you did. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be on your page.
Yeah, and it was an unplugged ceremony, so like nobody really had these photos or videos except for what was supposed to be the videographer, so it was kind of all supposed to be like a surprise. And I don't think that the bride and groom are like tainted by the, like, I know that it's upsetting.
Oh, I hope not.
It didn't completely ruin their day, obviously. But this is just like so crazy for them to wake up to and see, just because we didn't think that it was going to happen.
Absolutely. I hope they're having just a grand time on their honeymoon, because this is very, very unfortunate. They're asking if she was in the pictures, and Rachel says yes. In some of the photos that you'll see, she may be in the photos. I presume that the photographers, well, I don't know if you can edit out in the photos, in the videos, but I presume hopefully the photographer can edit out her in the photos.
We're unsure if she's going to do that for the ones that we send back, the sneak peeks. We could see her in some, but I don't know if the photographer will kind of do like a deeper dive when you get like the full gallery.
Oh, yeah. So you guys can see her in the sneak peeks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh she's in the background of some of the pictures.
And we'll see some of those pictures later on.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Man, oh man, I didn't know it was that. I would be very upset as a bride. Woo! Okay. Poor girl. They're all saying that she hopes to not in a bunch of photos. Love to the bride. She looks sickening. The entire internet agrees that her look was stunning. They're also asking, she was saying that the bride's mom asked her to stay. Did the bride's mom ask her to stay?
Not in any different way than the bride did when the artist was like, I don't want to leave. It was kind of like, oh my God, like, we'd love to have you sit at the ceremony. It wasn't like you have a full invite to do whatever you want.
Okay, and then they're also wanting to know, was she so our purview, it looked like she was fairly close to the altar. Was she as close to the altar as from what we saw?
Yeah, it was not that long. It wasn't like a church. It was a venue, so it wasn't like a church aisle or anything. So if she was in the middle of it, like the guests also fully saw that. Yeah.
Oh. And just to clarify, by the middle, you mean like if this is the aisle, she's standing like right here, or she's standing like just close enough to the guests?
No, she was like pretty wherever the photographer was. Like if it was dead center in the middle of the aisle, she was not far behind.
Okay. That's not good. Okay.
And again, you don't want to go up to someone in the middle of a wedding ceremony and say, like, get out of the way. So you kind of we just kind of had to live with it. But yeah.
Okay. I was trying to find maybe a silver lining in this. No, she was in the middle of the aisle.
The silver lining is that we did all look amazing, and we all loved how our makeup came out, and we loved how our hair came out. And granted, like in the morning when we were, I mean, you could see in the videos, like we really were vibing with her. Like she was great and she was so nice. And it was obviously very early in the morning, but she was making us really excited. And we were having fun there. And we were doing what we were told she was going to do with like taking videos of that kind of makeup and stuff. But obviously it just kind of got to the point of like annoyance and stuff at the venue. But I mean, the silver lining was getting ready was great, and the bride had a great day. So besides that,
great. The commenters also want to know if you heard the photographers or videographers saying anything, because some of the videos that we saw, it kind of looked like the photographer to me was like, "Girl, let me do my job."
That's kind of what the vibe was. There was like, if she was trying to take a TikTok, the photographer was like, "Okay, I need to take pictures of the bridesmaids now. Like, we kind of need to wrap this up." Yeah.
Okay. What about when she was crying to the bride about personal problems? That shouldn't have never happened, ever. Ever.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if she said this to like other bridesmaids. I didn't personally hear about her like relationship problems. So if she only did that to the bride, obviously, again, as you said, shouldn't have happened.
Yes.
But
is the brother's sister.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
It was just such a bizarre experience because we genuinely were having a good connection with the makeup artist and her team. We were having a vibe earlier in the day and they were really talented. So it was such a blindside to see her make a 3-part series when we felt we were so nice and so kind and vibing so well up until we weren't. I mean, my brother's not a content creator type. He's a pretty private guy. And he was made aware of that early on in the day. He's not, both of them, honestly, as couples, they're not the types to always want their photos taken or things like that. Of course, they were super excited for their wedding day. So my brother did anything his wife wanted him to do. But it's not really his nature to be making content and things like that. So at a certain point, it was just enough is enough already.
Understandable. And I'm going to echo what the other two bridesmaids who said that you guys did ask her, hey girl, the road, Jack, you don't gotta go home, you can't stay here. And then two, she was drinking y'all's Bellini, y'all's Prosecco, y'all's Rococo at the cocktail hour.
Prosecco.
3 seconds at dinner. This isn't making sense.
The bride and her family, in our family, we're all one family now, they're such generous, kind people. They would never want this person who they hired to feel unwelcomed. And we were vibing. It was just, at a certain point, it was just like, if you want to be here and enjoy this moment, let's do it. But the cameras need to go down because it's really just not their style. They were just so excited to be married and with each other. And then this third person was there constantly in their space. So that was a little disheartening, and especially exposing them before they even got a chance to share their own content if they chose to, or they're still not even married 1 week yet. So
exactly, they're on their honeymoon, enjoying their life, and then here comes UA.
And I will say, for those asking about the lighter, my brother is a cigarette smoker, and bumming cigs and taking lighters off a cigarette smoker on his wedding day is just not the vibe.
I am right there with you. Because everybody, because all the comments were like, oh, where are these bridesmaids? Get up. Y'all asked the girl, you gotta go. But she wasn't taking the cues.
And to be honest, she was in some special sacred places that we weren't even privy to because we didn't belong in those spaces. So we weren't even there to tell her she shouldn't have been there because even we didn't belong there. So there were some moments where us bridesmaids had other responsibilities or other places we were meant to be, and we didn't realize that she was intruding on such intimate moments because they were meant to be intimate moments.
Oh, yes, because she did end up in the bridal suite, we heard.
Yes.
Because she said it, we didn't hear. Did they ask her to move out of the first look photo?
Yeah. She's showing images and video and audio that no one has seen before. The couple hasn't even heard their vows back yet. So that was wild for it to come across people's FYP that we know personally. So,
yeah. The bridesmaids have also said in sneak peeks right after the wedding, 2 or 3 days before, 2 or 3 days after the wedding, and they said that they can't see her in those sneak peeks. So I presume she will be in a decent amount of photography.
Her team didn't stay. It was just her. The rest of the team left at their contracted time.
Yeah, there was a hairstylist at the venue that came from the hotel, but she left at her contracted time of 5 p.m. It was just the one makeup artist who stayed. There was, I did see a comment about the artist bringing up a race thing, and obviously that was not the reason at all, and I just want to get that point across. All of the hairstylists, all of the makeup artists were black women, as the bride was a black woman. That wasn't an issue, and that was also really upsetting to see too.
Yeah, there were other vendors as well, so that's a little misleading to think that she was the only black person or black-owned business that was hired for this event, because that's not true.
So apparently after all of this, Keziah gets on a TikTok live and admits to posting these videos out of spite because she wasn't allowed to hang out and party at this wedding. Like, how petty do you have to be to post like almost half an hour's worth of TikToks because you weren't allowed to stay at a wedding? Here's another comment from a guest. I'm a friend of the bride. I was a guest. She did unfortunately cause a scene and was asked to leave many times. She is also in the background of photos from the sneak peeks that we have. And here is one of the sneak peek photos from the wedding.
To top it all off, this is something from the wedding photographer, and guess who it is right there. I don't know how many more pictures she's in either.
Now we're going to get to the first apology video that Keziah put out.
Hello, everybody. I'm going to make this video as short as I possibly can. And I want to make it as quick as possible. I want to start off by apologizing to the bride that I worked with on September 7th, 2024, Kiana. I am so sorry for any distress that I have caused you behind the content that I posted. To all the bridesmaids and the bridal party, I am so sorry to any stress that I have caused you. I never meant for this to get out of hand the way that it did. And I hate that it happened. So I'm going to take accountability. I apologize. I'm deeply sorry. I'm going to remove all of the videos because I don't want to cause you any more stress in your life. You just got married. You don't deserve a whole bunch of stress in your life. And again, I'm deeply sorry for what happened. My intentions is never, ever to make any brides that I work with feel uncomfortable, feel stressed out, feel overwhelmed. That is never my intentions at any wedding that I'm ever working. I'd also like to address the agreement that I have with the brides. In my agreement that I have with the brides, we are able to film content and we are able to use the content. So that is something that is in our agreement. We have had brides who say, no, we do not want to be on social media. We are not social media people. Please, no phones. And we've had to not pull out our phones at weddings, and that's fine. We've had brides who say, yes, like, let's go. Let's do the content. Pull it out. Let's do it. But yeah, we've had both. Even with that, we always ask if we can film, even when we get to the weddings. We always even double check and ask like, hey, is it okay if we go ahead and record? Even though we know in the agreement that we can record and we can film content for the wedding day. I also want to address being at weddings and cocktail hours. So whenever we go to a cocktail hour or whenever we go to a wedding, it is never like without anybody giving us permission to go. We are always, most of the time, we are asked if we want to stay for the cocktail hour. And a lot of times we are invited to the weddings and we get personal invites to go to these weddings. So we're never just at anybody's cocktail hour, just chilling, doing whatever we want to do. I would never want somebody to do that at my wedding, and I would never do that at somebody else's wedding. I think that is unprofessional. You being somewhere where somebody told you that you weren't allowed to go. I absolutely feel that way. But whenever we do go to weddings or cocktail hours, we are certainly invited by the couple. I also wanted to address the talk around me being a content creator. I'm a makeup artist, which makes me a content creator. If you scroll down into any of my social media, you can see that I have been filming like this with brides. This is something that I have been doing for a while now. This is not something that is new to me. It's something that I have been doing since I started the business. That is how brides get drawn to us, because they're able to view our work on social media. I'm also going to address my personality. I saw a lot of the comments saying that I'm very overbearing. I do too much. I know that I'm a very loud person. And I also just like to joke. That's how my brides bond with me. From the time we start the consultation call till the time that they see me on their wedding day, we have so many conversations. My brides will text me and they'll say, because I got another question. I'm like, what's up? And they ask me stuff about the wedding day. I'm reassuring them. They'll call me. They're at Sephora because what was that product you said I needed? So I have so many interactions with my brides leading up to their wedding day, because they're booking like 12 months to a year and a half out. And most brides tell me that they went ahead and booked with me because they loved my personality so much. They love the way that I joke with them. They always say, oh, I know we're going to have a really good time on our wedding day. A lot of brides say that to me. And again, I've had this team for almost 5 years. And after being in the industry for a while, I started to learn that it wasn't just my skill the reason brides loved me. It was my personality. I would get so many like thank you cards and so many like, you know, like videos, and like brides are like, yo, like look at this picture that we took at the wedding, like thank you again so much. It became a thing, and it fed the company, and that's what made everybody excited. That's what made the brides excited about booking us, that it just became a thing. I'm also going to address the narrative that's being played around with, that I was asked to leave the wedding twice. I was not asked to leave the wedding twice. I was asked to leave the wedding one time. The first time I did leave the wedding because the groom cursed at me. It was just really unexpected, and I thought it was really uncalled for. I didn't think I needed to be cursed at. If anybody wanted me to leave in that moment, I thought it was a perfect time, because it was only me, the groom, and the bride standing there. Thought it was a perfect time to be like, Keziah, like, you know, like, I think that's enough. Like, we're done with this. Like, you know, thank you so much for the day. And then I would have just, you know, went on out. And I think I took the bride telling me to come back way too lightly. I should have never came back. So I'll take full accountability for that. I do want to address the groom and the way that you talk to me. I just thought that it was really disrespectful. I thought it was hurtful. And I just really think that it was uncalled for. I didn't need to be cursed at in that moment, especially when I've only had maybe 2 to 3 interactions with you. I just didn't deserve to be cursed at. I've never cursed at anybody at a wedding. I'm not disrespectful to anybody at the wedding. I'm not using, you know, foul language towards anybody in any aggressive way. That's not how I go about weddings. Brides who have worked with me know this. Any vendors who have worked with me know this. When anybody walks in the room, I say hello, because that's how I was raised. I've never been disrespectful at a wedding. The reason that I started the key look was because I saw that there was something missing in the wedding industry. There's not a lot of Black-owned hair and makeup teams. You know, a lot of Black women can't get ready with their bridal parties on the day of because they can't find a team that can work with all skin tones and all hair types. And that was really important to me to fill that space, because I'm like, you know, I'm Black. Like, I'm Black. I have a lot of different kinds of friends. You know, I have friends with all different hair types, different skin tones. And I want them to feel and look beautiful on my wedding day too. So that's why I started the key look. I did this for, you know, women of color and Black women. And I want to move forward from this, and I want to continue to do what I do. I want to continue to bring content. I want to continue to service brides, because I'm passionate about weddings. I'm passionate about brides. I love what I do, and I just want to continue to do that. So I do want to move forward. And again, I apologize.
So this apology video starts off alright, but it gets like really defensive by the end. And maybe she was only explicitly asked to leave once, but everyone was hoping she would like read the room all day and like leave on her own. I found this great video from a creator talking about her lack of boundaries.
So the saga kind of continues a little bit here from where I left off on my last video. One of the bridesmaids did make a comment on our video here, and is saying that she was asked to leave. This is the makeup artist that ended up getting kicked out of the wedding on September 7th. She was asked to leave several times by several different people, and she is also in the background photos. And honestly, if this was me, I would cry. I would cry. Like, I don't want somebody, not only if it had ended at them doing makeup, I think that would have been fine. And then if she ended up being in some photos, but not the first look, but whatever. If she ended up being in some photos, I wouldn't be too upset. I probably would cry a little bit, but not be like too upset. But now also there's this whole saga too, where she overstayed her welcome. The bride had to end up consoling her. Several people asked her to leave. She wouldn't leave. She left, and then she came back. And supposedly some of the bridesmaids were also on a live yesterday, and they were talking about how the bride didn't tell her to come back. That I think she was consoling her after the maid of honor. So not the maid of honor, after the wedding planner asked her to leave, and then she confronted the bride. The bride would just consoled her and said, like, I'm so sorry that you're upset, you know, and that was really it. Like, she didn't say, stay. And I don't know. And I'm not sure if the bride was just so uncomfortable, if at some point she was like, you don't have to go. Like, you know, sometimes when we're uncomfortable, we say things we don't really mean. And the problem is sometimes, like, this is just a lesson, a PSA to all of us, that we don't know who we're saying that to. We're saying, oh, it's okay, you can stay, to somebody that we're hoping that that person can read cues of, like, the way we're saying it is like, no, please go. But I don't want you to cry, but I also don't want you to, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know you like that, so I don't know if you're going to cause a further scene, which just seems like she did. So I can also understand the bride being like, maybe a little bit too nervous to, like, be firm. So then, you know, hey, she ends up deleting the 3-part series. Good on her. Then she ends up uploading an apology video. Not so good on her, because at first, the beginning of the apology video is solid. She first says that, like, hey, I'm not trying to, like, I'm going to make a short apology video. I'm not trying to keep you guys too long. Spoiler alert, it was long. It wasn't short. But you know what? We already know our girl. And we knew it wasn't going to be short. So, hey, I, like, locked in and I sat and listened to it. Honestly, there wasn't too much. It could have been shorter because she didn't really have that much to say other than repeating herself a lot. She did apologize to the bride and groom, but then she ends up going in on the groom later and talking about how he cursed at her and she didn't do anything to him. And she, you know, she's always been super respectful, and, you know, he wasn't respectful, but she's, you know, like, she was raised right. I was like, oh, maybe not too much. Maybe no. She started going in the other direction. And you know what? I think this is also PSA of, like, what is respectful in different situations. I think in this situation, you were disrespectful. Maybe you weren't cursing. Maybe you were very kind and you were asking permission. But at the same time, like, you weren't reading the social cues and the social etiquette of the situation, which ended up making you actually end up being rude. So I do think there's a little bit there of, like, her maybe having a very black and white view of what being cordial is, or what being, like, rude, what's rude and what's not rude. So there, I think there's something there that also she probably should dig into and learn about. She then goes in to say that she is invited a lot of times to stay at the weddings, to stay at the cocktail hours. Pretty much, like, most of this is her just being like, hey, this happens to me all the time. And hey, like, my personality is not too much, because a lot of people have posted that, okay, your personality is too much. And she's like, no, that's not true. My personality is not too much. People like when people love my jokes. People love my personality. This is who I am. I'm a content creator. This is basically all the stuff that she was saying. I always get invited to stay at the wedding. I always get invited, so she's just defending herself and her actions. And it's pretty much obvious that we're not going to get a video of her understanding where she went wrong here. We're not going to see that arc in this story. Then, after me watching that 9-minute video, I go to her stories. And this girl just loves to double down. She loves to double down. So she has, the different clips of stories. One is of a thank you card from a bride. Great. I don't think any of us thought that every bride had a bad experience with you, but I think that's where her mind is taking it. So a lot of her stories are just showing that other brides have enjoyed her services. Then also, just more pictures of thank you cards. Then also a video of her just hugging some mother-in-law. I guess I think a wedding that she was at in August. Her hugging her just way too long. And it just really shows, I was like, this girl just doesn't know boundaries. I think there's a part of her that just very much, as soon as you start joking with her, I can see with her personality that people do start to feel comfortable around her. But the issue is she starts to feel too comfortable. And that's the part. They get their guard down, then her guard goes way down. And then it might be, by that time, it might be too late. At that point, she just won't be able to read your cues anymore. She thinks you're family. And if it was me, I'd be like, no. Ooh, you got confused. I was laughing. You were funny, but now I would like you to go. And that's a part where I think she just starts missing things. She thinks if people are asking her to leave, she did something wrong. I'm like, no, we're asking you to leave because your job is done. Not that you did anything wrong. Like, the goal shouldn't be to stay at the whole wedding. And I think that is her goal. Her goal is to get invited to the wedding, and that's how she knows she did a good job. And that's the part where I'm like, okay, I think you got to work on that process of your measurement of when you did a good job. Then she also ends up pretty much ruining, like, I don't know, showing someone else's voice message from another bride that said, like, hey, I would have asked you to stay, but you said, like, you had to go, but I saw your TikTok, and I was like, hey, you could have stayed. Did you ask that bride if you could post that voice memo on your stories? It just seems like a lot of her not understanding boundaries. Like, that's the issue, and privacy. So yeah. So we're just not going to see the arc of her understanding where she went wrong. That's not the arc that we're going to get.
And then a few vendors came out of the woodworks to tell their experience working with Keziah.
I just got off a flight. You guys have been asking for a story time. You've been all up in my comments and my DMs. Hi, I'm Liz. I'm a wedding vendor, and I worked with Keziah of the Key Look, the now famous, she got kicked out of a wedding makeup artist, the day before. I have worked in the service industry for 20 years. I've worked in events for 10, and I have been a wedding vendor for 2. I am predominantly a wedding content creator. That is my main business. I do freelance for wedding planners, supporting them, assisting them, and I occasionally do some day of coordination consulting for clients as well. In this instance, on 9/6, I was hired by my client first as content, and then when they realized they needed a little extra help, as coordination later. The gist of the tea is that she did the same exact thing the day before that wedding.
So yes, this story that she's about to tell happens the day before the infamous wedding.
So the wedding that went viral that she posted was on 9/7. The wedding I worked with her on happened the day before, which was Friday. I was not going to say a word about this. I was going to debrief it with my bride. We were maybe going to send a note to the company expressing some of our concerns. I wasn't going to blast her on the internet. I wasn't going to leave her a bad review. I just wanted to have a discussion with her. But imagine my surprise when, before I'm even able to debrief it with my client, I see her 3-part series about her truly doing her worst the very next day. I still wasn't going to say much because I just don't know that I really want to drag another female business owner all over the internet. It doesn't feel great. But I do think that people need to be aware, especially because of the absolute gross, lack of remorse that I'm seeing. The fact that she continues to post content, the fact that she doesn't seem to be sorry at all for ruining 2 wedding days, truly ruining 2 wedding days. Not cool. I commented on her videos asking her to talk to me because she was making claims like, this has never happened before. Girl, it literally happened the day before.
So she claimed that she never got kicked out of a wedding before, but she literally got kicked out of a wedding the day before.
So here's the main gist. They show up on time. It's 3 people. They have, how many? They have 5 hair clients, 9 makeup clients for a wedding. They're supposed to start at 9. They're supposed to be done at 3. They proceeded to start late and run 2 hours over time because they were too busy making dinner plans, taking TikToks, and shooting the shit together. Any attempt to discuss it with them during the day was met with the most hostility I have ever received from a wedding vendor. Truly. Members of the wedding party were trying to express concern with their lack of timeliness and how things needed to get moving, that were also met with hostility. There were some massive breaches in professionalism, making the bridal suite uncomfortable because you took a 40-minute lunch when we were running behind and came back crying and cried through the rest of your services mid-beat.
And she admits this in the 3-part series, that she was crying while doing people's makeup.
Being rude to the moms of the couple, saying you didn't want to do their makeup in front of them, challenging their concerns about time. Literally being on your phone so much that you're stopping the services to make dinner plans. Leaving the bridal suite and stopping services to film content of other vendors doing setup. Pulling the bride out of the bridal suite to make a 10-take TikTok that she didn't really want to make. And then attempting to hang around after to film your own content, proceed to get in the way of the photographer, the videographer, the hired content creator, who was me. I was doing coordination and content, and I offered to share my content with them in the beginning of the day, so they knew they were gonna get content and chose to be disruptive about getting their own content anyway, even though they made the whole day behind. Being so eager to film the couple's private first touch that we then literally had to have a member of the family escort you off the premises.
How can you not read a room that badly?
Which, by the way, on your way out, you chose to walk through another wedding with all of your gear because you didn't feel like walking around it?
The way I would be in jail if that happened to me, like if some random bitch just like walked through my wedding.
I'm a little amped up. I'm admittedly amped. I am sorry. I will bring the tone down. I am frustrated for these 2 brides who had their wedding morning be completely uprooted by this one individual who is now showing zero care or remorse, in my opinion. These are hours they will never get back. These are photos they will never be able to take again. I have never seen a wedding vendor move like this in my time, and I've honestly never seen a service provider move with this much blatant disregard for such a big moment in other people's lives. So if you're talking about the key look and the makeup artist, it does seem to have been a pattern. She did it the day before. And I can't help but wonder how many more times did she do it before that. There were ample opportunities for her to pause, take a beat, get it? Literally take a moment to reflect, like, why are people frustrated with me? Why do I keep being asked to leave bridal suites? Are my days running on time? ? Ample opportunities for her to have reflected and done better for her couples. But instead, she woke up, she did it again, she made a 3-part series on it that nobody asked for. She hasn't really said sorry. I know she said sorry and then she deleted it, but like, did she really say sorry? And now she's just posting more content like nothing happened, enjoying her new following.
Yeah, so she made an apology video, but at the end of that video, she kind of walked back that apology, and then she just deleted the video after the fact anyways.
Meanwhile, you have a bride on her honeymoon who is probably distraught, finding out that her wedding has gone viral for the worst reason. And you have a bride who will never be able to take photos with that side of her family again, will never be able to redo her bridal portraits that were rushed and, like, not nearly the volume they should have been. All in the name of your content game. It's a bummer. And so coming from the wedding content creator, it is okay to make content for your business. It is not okay to make content for your business at the expense of others. This is not a normal wedding content creator experience. Don't get that twisted. I don't want other couples to have experiences like this with their vendors and think that this is normal. It's not. If any of your wedding vendors ever ask you to do something on your wedding day that you don't want to do, say no. You're allowed to say no. And when you're picking out your vendors, keep an eye and an ear for a really big ego. There really weren't any warning signs ahead of time with this vendor. I wasn't in every consultation call. I wasn't at the trial. But the bride had no reason to think that this vendor was going to be this unprofessional. And so I don't even know that I could say there's anything anyone could have done to have picked this out sooner. But I do think there are probably some things you can ask vendors when screening them to kind of suss out how flexible are they, how self-centered are they, and how much are they going to give a shit about you on the wedding. I don't think you should run and leave Keziah a 1-star review on her business if you didn't actually work with her. I honestly hope that she recovers from this. I don't want to see her lose her business. The wedding industry, hands down, needs more Black women, not less. And she's a pretty damn good makeup artist. But girl, can you say sorry to your brides?
And then there is a part 2 to this video.
There are 2 things I just got questions on in my DMs that I want to address real quick on this. The first one is the idea that Keziah is claiming that the brides gave permission for this content to be filmed. I would say that's a pretty misleading statement. Keziah's contract does have a photo release for photos of their work. I am not a lawyer. I've seen a few lawyers commenting on this. I do not believe that that gives you carte blanche to video with sound all elements of the day indiscriminately and share it broadly. And so I think that she might need to tighten up her contract if this is how she intends to run the business. I'm not saying, like, if there might be clients who want this, right? And so I think for clients who want this, it's a great product. I believe in content, right? There's certainly a good way to do it. There's certainly a market for it. But I don't think her contract says what she thinks it says. And so to say, like, asking permission to film one TikTok is one thing, making an entire hair and makeup schedule run 2 hours behind because you're filming multiple rounds of content, and then that you're filming multiple things after, I'd say that's misleading. I also have to say, as a wedding content creator, your discretion and discernment is one of the most powerful tools that you have. You have to have a deep understanding of who your client is, what they want to remember, how they're going to want to remember it, and when to stop filming. There's also a lot of discernment involved in how close are you to the couple at any given moment. How intrusive are you choosing to be with your physical body into their space? How much are you talking, right? How much are you, like, casting your own shadow on the moment?
Personally, I am a person who gets overwhelmed very easily. Like, I get sensory overload very easily. I would not want some, like, random person all up in my grill on my wedding day, or, like, honestly, any other day.
And so I keep getting this feeling and this message, like, well, didn't these brides know that they were being filmed like this? And the answer is kind of like, I think not really. And even if they did know, I would argue based on the videos, there wasn't a lot of discernment shown. You guys saw the clips, her showing up, knocking at the door, and catching the bride in a robe off guard. Maybe not the moment. The other thing that I keep being asked is, like, what was wrong with the team, like, having fun and talking to each other? The answer is nothing other than that it impeded their ability to do their jobs. I have a lot of really good friends who are makeup artists. I have seen a lot of really incredible makeup artists do their thing on wedding day. And one thing that's true about all of them is they take their job very seriously, but they really do enjoy doing it. And you can feel that in the bridal suite when they really enjoy what they're doing. And so I think it's great for you to enjoy what you're doing, but I don't think your enjoyment should override your ability to do the job. And so by no means am I telling makeup artists how to do their jobs. I could never. I admire what you do. I appreciate what you do. I know how hard you work. I think you all deserve to enjoy it, and I think you all deserve to have a great environment and great experience that you're working in. But I do think that all makeup artists have agreed in the comments of almost every video that running 2 hours behind on a wedding day is, like, without adding people in, is pretty rough. I said this before and I'll say it again. I would say that the pace and tone of the team was more what I would expect to see in a really chill, fun salon environment versus the tone of a very structured, timed wedding day. And I feel like most people who have gotten hair and makeup done in those two scenarios kind of understand how they feel a little different. They're always trying to run on time, but like the pace and the urgency is moving at a slightly different clip. And I think they should be, because the ramifications of you being late to lunch after your gloss and tone are very, very different than you missing the opportunity to take photos with the half of your family that traveled from another country to be here for your wedding.
That's a great analogy, and I wonder if it's what happened on the day that she worked that wedding. A second vendor, a makeup artist, came on to TikTok to tell her experience working with Keziah.
Hey guys, so I was not going to do this. I honestly hardly even know how to use TikTok, but I wanted to share my experience working with the Key Look Keziah. I recently spoke to another vendor on TikTok that has worked with her, and this is actually the reason that I decided I'm going to share my story, because we're connecting the dots, and I'm honestly really disturbed about her actions, not just what I experienced with her, but what I'm sure other people have experienced with her. So to start, I met her in a makeup group, and I had her come on a wedding with me because I need assistance, and her work looked very nice. And she came, she did a great job, and that first wedding we worked together, she was professional. So I was really happy to find an artist that could potentially assist me with future jobs, especially because her work was so nice. So I put her on probably like 4 or 5 more jobs after that, one of which, the wedding she did on her own. It was another destination wedding. And I do want to reach out to that bride and ask her experience, because she stayed the whole wedding. And she told me that she was invited by the bride. So I'm starting to think maybe she wasn't. So the wedding after that, she assisted me at another destination wedding. It was Vermont. And I offered to drive us. We're from Jersey. It's really far. And I didn't want her to have to drive as well. So I offered to drive us both. And we had to share a room. And those of you that are in the makeup industry or a vendor or whatever, you know that sometimes you share rooms with other vendors. And you're just polite and you do what you can to make the other person feel comfortable, even though sometimes it's like awkward because you don't know the person. But anyway, we got to Vermont. And we get to the venue to have like a dinner, and we both order a meal. And right before we're going to leave, she orders like this really expensive meal, an additional meal to bring back to the room, and then tells the server to split the check. So she expected me to pay for half of her additional meal. And I said, no, it's okay, I'll have my own check. And right away, I thought that was like really rude, especially because I just drove us to Vermont. So I'm using my gas money. You don't even have to pay for gas. And you just ordered an additional meal to the room. So that caught me off guard, but I kind of brushed it off and whatever. So we get back to the room. We had to share a king-size bed, and she starts smoking weed as I'm laying down getting ready for bed. And like, I have no problem with weed. Like, if you want to smoke weed, be my guest, but please do not do it in my bed. Yes.
Also, I'm pretty sure you can definitely get charged for smoking in hotel rooms. Quick story time. One time I drank something in a hotel room that set off my gag reflex, and I threw up on the hotel floor, and I had to pay a $150 cleaning fee. And so I'm pretty sure you will definitely get charged a cleaning fee if they smell weed in a hotel room. And to put that on this woman who is paying for the hotel room is just like so rude.
And at the same time, she is arguing with her boyfriend on the phone nonstop. And I see a common denominator here, because she also claims that the wedding that she crashed, that she was just so distraught over like her boyfriend cheating on her. So clearly they have a lot of issues going on, but she's fighting with him while I'm laying there trying to sleep. So then, like any normal person before bed, you set your alarm on your phone, you put your phone on the end table, and you put it on vibrate so it doesn't ring. No, she doesn't do that. She has 2 cell phones. She put both of these cell phones on my pillow. On my pillow. So all night long, and I wish I was exaggerating. All night long, her boyfriend was calling her every 10 minutes. FaceTime, call, text, every 10 minutes. And she was so high, she just passed out. She didn't even hear a single ring, a single call. So I am literally laying here all night long being woke up by this over and over and over again. My actual head is vibrating because her phones are both on my head. What person thinks that it is okay to put your phones in the bed with you while you're sharing a bed with somebody else? That is honestly so rude. So already I'm just like, I got no sleep that night. And then I had to drive us home the next day, all the way back to Jersey. And I'm thinking to myself, I never want to work with her again. But I have to because we have 2 more weddings booked and it is way too soon to find another artist. So I just say, I'm going to suck it up. I'm just going to suck it up and do these last 2 weddings. And the final wedding was my cousin's wedding. So I had to just get through it. And I knew her work was beautiful. I'm just like, I knew that the clients wouldn't be disappointed in the work, even if I had to deal with the craziness. So our next wedding is in Pennsylvania. And she does a great job. Everybody looks good. She was fine in front of the clients. We go to leave and I walk out first. So she's behind me and I already had the envelope with all the money from the job. And the bride goes, oh, wait, I forgot the tips. And she handed Keziah the money, which she then put in her bag. So we get outside to our cars and I say, oh, do you want to split the tip money up? And she goes, oh, no, that's all for me. It was only a $20 bill. And I'm thinking, that is really weird, especially because I didn't get tipped. So why would the bride be giving you a $20 bill when you didn't even do her makeup? But you know what? I am not a confrontational person. And honestly, the tip money is not worth anything. Like, it's not worth a fight. It's not worth drama. It's just not worth it. And as you can see, I'm not a confrontational person. I literally slept on people's cell phones ringing, and I have problems speaking up for myself. So yes, I will admit that. But so I let it go. So I'm about to get in my car, and she goes, oh my God, I can't find my cell phone. And I'm like, okay, well, did you leave it in the venue? And she's like, maybe. So she goes back in, she's looking everywhere. She comes out, and she's like kind of accusing the bridal party of taking it. She's just like, I don't know. I think they have it. And I'm like, okay, well, I really don't think they have it because they are like super sweet people. So I'm like, let me help you look for it before we go like accusing people of stealing anything. So I looked in her car, I'm looking in her back seat, and then I'm like, well, maybe you put it in your kit, like before you packed up, and maybe it's in there. So I opened that zipper where she put that tip money, and it was a $100 bill. So now I caught you in a lie. And at that point, I just pretended I didn't even see it. And I'm like, I am not even going to say anything. And I don't even know if she knows I saw it or not. It was a $100 bill. So now you're lying to me. You've literally treated me like total crap the past 2 weddings we've had. She finds the phone. It was like in her car or something. And we both get in the car and leave. And I'm like, okay, 1 more wedding to get through, which is my cousin's wedding. She shows up at my cousin's wedding. According to my cousin, I don't remember this part because I was so distraught throughout the morning trying to get everything perfect for her. But sorry, there's like a fly flying around here. So she wants to play her music, her hype music, which is like very loud rap music. And we have like older people in there and just people that wanted like my cousin's playlist to go on, and she like didn't allow that, is what my cousin told me. So then I do my cousin's makeup, and at this point, because I have finished all the girls, I'm going to do a part 2 on this for my cousin's wedding, and this is the part that really like haunts me the most. So stay tuned for part 2.
Now the second part of this video got lost to the TikTok time and space continuum after it violated terms and conditions. So she recapped it in the comments. To recap my cousin's wedding, my cousin told me that she was unable to play her own music because the Keyluk wanted to play her own music. I honestly don't remember a thing because I was running around like crazy trying to assist my cousin. Then her and the other artist finished the Bridesmaids. The other artist left and Keziah would not leave. It was about 1.5 hours after she finished makeup and she was just very weirdly sulking around the room looking at stuff and pretending to clean her brushes. I had to ask someone who works at the vendor to stay in the room while we took our pictures because she wouldn't leave, and I was not leaving $10,000 worth of makeup alone with anyone, along with other... It was just very weird that she wouldn't leave and was almost waiting for us to leave. This was almost 2 years ago. Then yesterday was informed by another vendor a room she was left alone and the mother of the bride claimed her back was ransacked through. Now we have zero proof this is her intent. It's definitely concerning and something people should be aware of. There is no reason a makeup artist would want to stay after they are done working unless they have an ulterior motive. Getting footage of someone's wedding doesn't help your makeup business in any way, so why are you staying? It's just very odd behavior for a makeup artist. I would not be able to work with this woman, like ordering an extra meal, trying to get you to pay for it, stealing the tip money, accusing people of stealing your phone. Like, Jesus fuck. Currently, Keziah's name is being spread like wildfire through Facebook's Do Not Hire pages. Like, her business is kind of crashing and burning. All of this led to a second apology video.
I wanted to come on here to apologize to the couple that I worked with last Saturday. I also want to apologize to the entire wedding party because y'all deserve an apology. I want to apologize to all of the guests that attended that wedding. Y'all deserve an apology. And I want to apologize to all of the wedding vendors that worked so hard to make sure that that couple had a beautiful wedding day. I sincerely apologize to all of y'all. It was never my intentions to cause any of y'all any stress, any hurt, or any pain. That was never my intentions. I'm a small business owner who operates with the utmost care and the utmost professionalism in this wedding industry. I started the Key Look about 5 years ago, and we've done over 500 weddings. And we worked all over the country, and we also have done weddings internationally. And before I started the Key Look, I saw that there was just a hole in the wedding industry for women of color, and it wasn't enough representation. So I wanted to offer a solution to women of color who were overlooked. That this is an option. You can have luxury grooming services on your wedding day. You can feel and look beautiful on your wedding day. And that is why I started the Key Look. As a small, self-funded minority business, we bank on social media. We use social media as a marketing tool so that we are able to reach potential brides or couples who would love to work with us on one of the biggest days of their life. And social media has it has showed us, and it has been successful for us, which is why we just continue to use it in our business strategy so that we could constantly reach brides who are looking for something that we offer. So now that some time has passed, I am going to explain the story from my point of view of what took place that day. I totally understand that there are going to be others who have had different experiences of what that day looked like for them. But I'm going to explain what it looked like for me in the next video.
Okay, so the first part of this video is fine. And then she kind of goes on a tirade about her business. The apology part was great, but then she says she's going to explain the day from her point of view. But like, girl, you already did that in your 3-part series. Just like drop it and move on. So in that apology video, the bride Kiana finally speaks out and comments on that video. She says, I understand you're sorry for your behavior on the day. I forgave you on the day. It wasn't until all of this that I had any animosity towards you. Saying you apologize on a public forum and then giving a monologue about your business is not an apology. You have my number. You've made several videos already. We know your point of view. It's enough. I totally agree with her. She needs to move on. Like, it's been enough. And by the way, Keziah deleted these comments. This is where she posts a second video saying that never mind, she's not going to rehash any of the details from that day anymore.
Hello everybody. I'm so sorry that it took so long for me to create the second video. It's just I've been working all day. I just wanted to come on here because I don't think that it's helpful for me to rehash the events of what happened that day. It's already enough out there. I just want to put this to rest out of respect for the couple. I listened to all the feedback and I want y'all to know that I hear y'all. I take full responsibility for my actions, and I definitely recognize that there are things that I could have done better in this particular situation. I was emotional when I made those videos, and I also was emotional when I was on TikTok Live, but I'm human and we all make mistakes. I plan to learn from this, and I plan to make sure that we have strong communication with our clients before their event and on the day of their event. Our number one priority is to always put the client first and ensure that moving forward, nothing like this ever happens again. The bride and groom are good people, and it's just not fair that their special day is overshadowed with this. So I'm just going to leave this here, and I wish them a long and a happy marriage.
Honestly, I'm glad that she finally took all the feedback that she was getting. This is like the only good video that she posted. I wonder if maybe a PR consultant was hired, or maybe if a cease and desist was sent. Anyways, that's it for this story. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. If you want to support my channel for free, you can subscribe and like this video. And let me know if there are any other crazy stories you want me to cover on my channel. You can always send me anything you want me to cover on TikTok or Instagram. Anyways, that's it for today. Bye.
Just like that, she's off the market. All her girls like period, and all his boys like yeah. And all she wanna say is my fiance. Every other word is my fiance. Let me tell you all about my fiance. This my ring from my fiance. He was on his A game. She was shook like okay.